Hi, and welcome to the Health Begins with Mom show. I am Dorit Palvanov, your host. On this podcast, I will share insights and interviews on health, parenting, and explore the question of what does it take to thrive as women, wives, and mothers. Now, let's get going with today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Health Begins with Mom podcast. This is Dorit Palvanov, your host. Before I get into today's podcast, I'd like to let you know that I have one spot available for working with me privately over the next couple of months. As you know, I'm currently developing an amazing group coaching experience for you guys. But if you want to work with me one-on-one, this is your chance. I usually don't work with people one-on-one, but this month I have one opening. And so I would love to to jump on this opportunity with you. So if you're ready to regain your energy back, feel alive and vibrant again after having kids, if you want to balance your hormones, master your emotional health, and learn how to engage your feminine energy so that you can feel successful in your life and mothering, this is your chance. So if this speaks to you, send me an email to dorit@healthbeginswithmom.com and we'll get on the phone to see if we are a good fit. All right, let's talk about Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day. This episode is going to be released right on Mother's Day. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how do you celebrate Mother's Day? Are you treated usually as a queen for that one day? Do you get breakfast in bed? Do you order in and skip the mess of eating at home? Do you spend time in nature? Or do you spend the day with the kids or maybe your own mom or grandmother? Or do you give yourself a day free from chores? Do you give yourself permission to do less stuff and just take in and savor what you've created so far in your life? So notice how in the last two sentences, I've used the term give yourself instead of get. Because you don't get anything from life, right? Nothing is free. And I don't say this to discourage you. I say this to empower you and encourage you to take back control over your life. Because in life, you set intentions. You ask for what you want. You declare it to the universe. And then you do what is required to get it. And then, and only then, you wait for it to come. And it will come, I promise. But you need to know what it is that you want. Because at the end of the day, even your Mother's Day will go the way you decide, the way you intend, and the way you request it to be. Remember this, my love. You are the one teaching people how to treat you. If you just expect people to do or give to you without asking for it or setting an example for it, or at least being clear about how it is that you want to feel, in most cases, you will end up feeling disappointed. You'll end up feeling full of resentment and unappreciated. I know, you may be thinking, but I like to be surprised. Well, then, it is up to you to make sure that the people you love know and are clear about the fact that you like to be surprised. Don't expect them to just guess it, and don't trust their goodwill. Right? And this is not to say that people are mean. Absolutely not. What this means is that people are busy, right? And so taking that busyness into consideration, it's important because it will help you to deal and cope with disappointment in an easier way, right? So for the most part, people are busy. People are overscheduled, and what can you do? They're self-absorbed, right? And this is true especially with regards to children who don't yet have the capacity to see someone other than themselves. And that's totally normal. That's the process of life. So as wise women, someone I like to refer to as divas or goddesses, it's up to us to set the stage and make it a success. Because at the end of the day, Mother's Day is not really about them celebrating you. Rather, it's about you celebrating yourself, your status as a mom. So build the environment for yourself to make this a special day, which will hopefully have a lasting effect beyond just one day. Right? I want you and me to live like this every single day. So, what should you do instead? So, today I want to talk about the 3 suggestions to try for this Mother's Day so that you have an example, even if it's just for one day, of what's possible for you. I want you to see for yourself how it feels to thrive in your body when you set the right grounds for yourself. So, number 1. First thing I recommend you to do is start the day before everyone else gets up. Give yourself the permission to wake up in peace, in quiet and serenity. Forgo the phone and the news. That can wait. Instead, breathe deeply. Stretch. Look up some short yoga videos on YouTube, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Have that shower that you're craving but never have the time for. Write in your journal. And if you don't have a habit of journaling yet, start by writing what you're grateful for today. Then drink a cup of warm water with lemon, following your favorite cup of coffee or tea. Make an agreement with yourself that you will finish that cup and you will not drink it cold. So this is not so much about the coffee as it is about this act of self-love and self-honoring. Again, don't expect your family members to understand this. Just make a point of it. I actually say this to my girls. As an act of self-love, I'm going to finish my cup of coffee or tea, and right after I will help, give you, and whatever it is that they need. So I actually use that language. So this is tip number 1. Tip number 2, start your day with a delicious and nourishing breakfast. If you can get your husband and or kids to bring it to your bed, go for it. What I do usually, I make my own breakfast because if I wait for my husband to serve me with breakfast, it just will never happen. And I'm not saying this because he's mean. He's a great husband, but he has a lot on his plate. And so what I do for myself is I go by the principle of PFF, and that stands for protein, fat, and fiber in the morning, which is designed to support your nervous system and your sensitive hormonal system. So some ideas could be a sprouted whole grain toast with maybe half an avocado and cod liver or sardines on top. And then you can top it with some broccoli sprouts or maybe with some flax seeds or hemp seeds, chia seeds even. It's optional, but the more you put on it, the more you will enrich that breakfast. And this is my go-to as far as breakfast. It's quick, it's easy to put together, and I find that it is extremely soothing and calming for the nervous system, when I eat this way. I find that especially for me and for my clients who have a very sensitive hormonal system, high amounts of protein and high amounts of fat is a game changer in the morning. So other ideas would be maybe a chia pudding, which is basically soaking chia seeds overnight in the milk of your choice. I prefer dairy-free milk. And top it with nuts, seeds, and maybe a drizzle of maple syrup. And you can also always add some fresh fruit and berries. You can also do eggs with maybe some greens. It's also a great option. So I know breakfast can sound trivial and maybe silly, but I see so many women, moms especially, who either skip breakfast altogether or eat cereal with milk for breakfast, which sets their blood sugar on a never-ending and sometimes dangerous roller coaster. When you choose good quality and nourishing breakfast for yourself, you're not only feeding yourself right? So I always talk about this principle of when you're eating for hormonal health, and supporting your nervous system, it's not enough to eat well. You have to eat right, right? So like I said, you're not only feeding yourself right, but you're also teaching your children to make these choices for themselves too, right? Think of it as maybe programming your kids for a lifetime of self-care, especially if you're raising girls. I find that it's important. And then the third tip would be to, and this is a big one. I think like this is the most sort of like the most impactful one for the day. And that would be to look at yourself in the mirror and smile to yourself. Yeah, let me just pause there. So many times we look at ourselves with a rushed and exhausted look, which doesn't inspire us throughout the day, and it doesn't honor the humanness which resides in each and every one of us. And I want to cultivate a life for myself where I view each day with reverence and godliness. I want to live my life from a place of awe and respect to the Creator and Mother Earth, as opposed to rushing through life like a beat up rat who never gets a chance to truly enjoy the process of creation and feel bliss. And what's the point to life and raising children? Gosh, it's so difficult to raise children. If every day is a hassle or it feels like a chore. Again, the only one who can give you that is you. Don't wait for that feeling to just drop on you one day. The way to do this is only by practice, every single day, in and out, by allowing yourself to observe, to pause, to let your shoulders down. Oh my gosh, that's been such a big thing for me. Just to put your shoulders down, to stop talking and running around. Just stop. Just stop, even if it's for a few minutes. So, for that day, I want to challenge you to look at yourself in the mirror, not only at your face, but actually at your body, and smile at yourself. Go ahead and tell yourself, I love you, right? So, like I said, a full body mirror. Look at yourself fully. And no matter how heavy or light your body is, no matter how much cellulite it has, no matter how many muffin tops you have, no matter how fat or skinny your arms are, this is your only body. You will never have another. And I want you to look at it with a different perspective, even if it's just for today. This body has been there with you in preschool, in grade 1, in grade 8, throughout grade 12. It's been with you in college, on your wedding day. And this is the body that has allowed you to carry your child or children. This is the only body you have. So please, please, please love it, honor it, see the sacredness in it. It is yours for the rest of your life, right? It's yours. It's your responsibility to take a really good care of it. So there you have it. 3 things I think you should do this Mother's Day without relying on anyone, without expecting anything from anyone, just celebrating your life, your motherhood journey, and just be, right? If you happen to get gifts or flowers from anyone, let it be an added bonus or like the icing on the cake. But remember that feeling good on that day is an inner work. It comes from deep within. So again, the 3 things are to start your day before everyone else gets up, even if it means you have to get up an hour before everybody. Yes, it will make a huge difference. It might be a little bit difficult in the beginning. I remember it was tough for me. But when you do it first time, second time, third time, it's easier. And also, I find that it becomes easier right after you wash your face. So at least that's for me. And then the second thing, please do not skip breakfast and make sure you're eating a breakfast that has protein, good fat, and fiber in it. And then the third thing, please adore yourself in front of a mirror. Yeah, so I found this beautiful poem online, which I think you will love, and I'd like to wrap up with this. It's called As I Began to Love Myself. And the author is actually unknown, so I cannot credit them, but I think it's beautiful. So I'm going to read it to you. It goes like this. As I began to love myself, I found that anguish and emotional suffering are only warning signs that I was living against my own truth. Today, I know this is authenticity. As I began to love myself, I understood how much it can offend somebody if I tried to force my desires on this person, even though I knew the time was not right and the person was not ready for it. And even though this person was me, today I call it respect. As I began to love myself, I stopped craving for a different life, and I could see that everything that surrounded me was inviting me to grow. Today I call it maturity. As I began to love myself, I understood that at any circumstance, I am in the right place at the right time, and everything happens at the exact right moment. So I could be calm. Today, I call this self-confidence. As I began to love myself, I quit stealing my own time and I stopped designing huge projects for the future. Today, I only do what brings me joy and happiness, things I love to do and that make my heart cheer, and I do them in my own way and in my own rhythm. Today, I call this simplicity. As I began to love myself, I freed myself of anything that is no good for my health. Food, people, things, situations, and everything that drew me down and away from myself. At first, I called this attitude a healthy egoism. Today, I know it is love of oneself. As I began to love myself, I quit trying to always be right. And ever since, I was wrong less of the time. Today, I discovered that is modesty. As I began to love myself, I refused to go on living in the past and worrying about the future. Now, I only live for the moment where everything is happening. Today, I live each day, day by day, and I call it fulfillment. As I began to love myself, I recognized that my mind can disturb me and it can make me sick. But as I connected it to my heart, my mind became a valuable ally. Today, I call this connection wisdom of the heart. We no longer need to fear arguments, confrontations, or any kind of problems with ourselves or others. Even stars collide, and out of their crushing new worlds are born. Today I know that this is life. I love this one. It's so, so good. So, guys, before I let you know, a quick reminder if you feel overwhelmed, uninspired, exhausted, or like you are just getting through the day and suffer quietly and slowly dying from within, please, please, please stop waiting for it to just go away. Instead, reach out to me. Send me an email. You can reach me at dorit@healthbeginswithmom.com and we'll get on the phone for a quick chat to see if we're a good fit. In order for this to work, your need and craving to feel good have to be stronger than my readiness to serve you. I want it for you, but you have to want it more. And that's the only way that you're going to break through. I wish you so much love. I wish you a beautiful, happy, and joyful Mother's Day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Health Begins with Mom show. I love hearing from you, so please post your comments and questions over at healthbeginswithmom.com/podcast. If you love the show, please share it on social media and in your real life with other moms who might enjoy this content. And if you have a burning question or topic you'd like me to hit on the show, just drop me a line at dorit@healthbeginswithmom.com. And if you love this show and really want to support it, please go to iTunes, write a review, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Much love and many blessings.